Hi everyone, Stepan here. I couldn't resist playing another training game today. Considering how the last one went, well, I got refunded my points. I just got a message from leeches that I lost to a cheater. It doesn't matter though. The last game was pretty bad on my part, and okay, I didn't crop the board again. Just give me a second. I'm sorry for this. Okay, it should be fine now. Okay, what is this? Why do I keep playing against weird openings? This is unbelievable. Okay, this time I'm not going to. What the hell is this? Okay, let me concentrate. I don't know if you saw the last video. If you haven't, please do. I got humiliated by a cheater in a very weird opening. Now, I've been playing the Caro-Kann for almost 5 years, since my first chess game, and I've never seen this before. So, d5 has to be normal, but okay, I'll just play d5. I don't see why I wouldn't play a normal Caro-Kann move. Okay, he's preventing bishop f5. That's clear enough. Can I do something about that? Can I play h5? If I play h5, what can he do? If he advances, I just play bishop f5 and then e6. h5 is not a normal move though, so maybe there are normal moves I could play. No, I don't see any other move. If he defends with f3, I'm going to take, opening up my rook. If he defends with bishop e2, I'm going to take. So I'll just play h5. I'm going to listen to my instincts this game. Thank you for the comments on the last embarrassing one. I agree with all of them. I think h5 is the principled move here. Maybe it was even on the last turn. But I don't see how he justifies his play, because playing bishop to g2 makes almost no sense unless they go for some sort of King's Indian attack Breyer variation setup with e4 d3. When the pawn is on e5, that makes no sense because he's never going to weaken d5 and c6. This pawn chain is very strong. So he probably has to play f3, but if he plays f3, then his position is just bad. Okay, I don't know. As I said, I hope this has a name. If it doesn't have a name, by the way, you guys said in the chat that in the last game that guy played the Vampire Gambit. As far as I could see, the Vampire Gambit is c4, e5, f4, or something similar. So the same position, but with the pawn on e5, not on d5. Maybe this is also called the Vampire Gambit. I have no idea what I played in the last game. So yeah, what I played in the last game, I don't think has a name, or what my opponent played. Maybe this has a name. This is a day of weird openings, and that's official. And now he's thinking. I mean, if he played g4 without thinking it through before, then I just don't know what to say. I mean, it is an online game. It's not tournament chess, so you can experiment, but and getting your opponent off guard, catching your opponent off guard is a good idea, but there's probably a reason why I never saw g4 against the Caro. Anyway, yeah, hopefully all of you guys have been asking me why don't I continue the Road to GM series. I'm sorry if you're not familiar with that, but there is no chess. I haven't played a game in a long time. In fact, I've played one game in the last year, and it was a league game that we played in, I think, October, maybe late September, and we'd played it after it had been rescheduled for about 5 times. So the Creation League should start on the first weekend in March, and yeah, then we would play one game every 2 weeks if the games are held as scheduled. And there's a tournament I've signed up for on March 24th, which I don't think is going to be cancelled again. Okay, so now I play bishop f5, which has to be normal, and then I play e6, and I'm going to win this pawn eventually. I don't see a good way for him to defend. And then I have queen b6, and I have normal Caro-Kann ideas. I could play knight h6, knight g4, for example. I think this was the right way to play. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but if I'm not able to play bishop f5, then how do I play e6? And with the pawn on g4, I had to play h5 to be able to play bishop f5. I don't think this extra pawn means anything because I have a lead in development for now, and also his extra pawn is meaningless because my rook is actually great. Your opponent left the game. You can claim victory in 71 seconds. Okay. Last time I asked what that meant, you guys said they were answering messages. So, okay, maybe he's answering a message. But why do you lose in a minute if you're playing on your phone and you have to answer your phone? Do you get the same message? So what if someone calls and you're in the middle of a game? So then you automatically lose. And he's back. Yeah, again, a weird position. This maybe this is going to be useful in the future. Hopefully someone plays the f4 c4 system I faced today, because after the game I prepared for about an hour against that, and now if I face it again, I'm going to know all the best moves, and after this one I'm going to prepare against this. I don't think this is as dangerous as the system in the previous game. It's probably equally bad, maybe not as bad, but it's probably bad. But yeah, still, I have a feeling that it's going to take me about 10 years to learn all the weird moves against my repertoire. Somehow the number of weird moves that are being played increases. So, why would he play g4 if he doesn't know what to do? I don't know. So, c6, g4, d5, e5. Okay, so he's probably prepared up to this point, and then he probably didn't expect h5. So if this is his preparation, either he's bad at preparing or h5 is a bad move, which I can't imagine h5 being a bad move. It makes a ton of sense. Because if I'd, for example, played knight h6, then he just plays h3, solidifies, and then if I play h5, eventually after moving the knight, he has bishop g2, and on hg4, hg4, rook h1, bishop h1. So, yeah, okay, now his king side is ruined. At least I got that, and I'm pretty confident I'm going to win the pawn back. What does he even do here? Should he play d4? He probably should play d4 at some point. Maybe play it now. Again, the question is, probably bishop h3 is a good move. Probably bishop h3 is a good move. Do I then play queen d7 or queen c8? I probably do. And then a double attack on h5. I don't think I should take developing his knight, because the knight could be annoying on g5 or on f4. Maybe I should even play f6, just... Yeah, okay, he plays d4. So now I should be slightly concerned about e6 because he has bishop h3. I want to play f6 very badly, but I understand that it could be risky for now. He probably plays f4. Okay, if I play e6, bishop h3, knight h3, I actually could play queen h4, which is a weird move in the Caro-Kann, because now on bishop g5, I have queen h3, and otherwise I can just win the pawn. So I'm going to play e6. I'm expecting bishop h3, because that seems like a fairly strong move, but I think this resource with queen h4 saves the day for me. In fact, I could play queen h4 straight away if he doesn't play knight f3 and just win my pawn. It also preventing bishop h3. But if he does play knight f3, then I'm happy because he doesn't have bishop h3. Now I'm playing a normal advanced Caro-Kann setup against a position in which white should have a pawn on g2 and the knight on f3, and I should have a pawn on h7. What is that move? Okay, I did not expect this. I think I can just win my pawn back with queen h4 and have a very good position. Yeah, now I'm going to play it. I'm not going to waste too much time. Am I hanging anything? Bishop g3 doesn't work, knight f3 doesn't work, bishop h3 doesn't work, knight h3 doesn't work. So I'm going to play it. Now I'm just going to have equal material with a much better position. I should point out that bishop g3 would actually blunder a rook, so he should not do that. Because queen e4, and if bishop e2, queen h1, bishop f3, I have queen g1. Trading queens and winning the knight as well. I don't know how he saves himself. I think I may already be winning, because if queen d2, I could always play bishop c2. Okay. That seems normal. I think I'm just going to take. I don't think bishop e4 is anything that spectacular, so I'll just take. Get away from the dark squares, also in anticipation of either knight g3 or bishop g3. I've already moved. Yeah, this should be a very pleasant position, unless bishop g4 worked, but he has queen d2, so I don't think it did work, because then on bishop e2, the queen defends the bishop on f4. I mean, I still have to win this. I should be much better, maybe even winning, but if you guys have seen any of my training games, then you know that anything is possible. So what do I do? How do I develop? I think knight h6 is a good move, because then whenever I trade my light squared bishop, and I will, with either bishop h3 or bishop e4, or depending on what he does, yeah, then knight f5 is going to be a very good move. Should I prevent him from castling now? Bishop g4 is very tempting. But do I want to give up my light squared bishop? I think if bishop g4 h3, I play bishop f3, and bishop f3 queen f3 should be quite good, and then knight h6 knight f5. But then also maybe I should develop some pieces. Bishop g4 seems very nice, but I'm moving the same piece once more. And the issue is that if he castles, then yeah, then that should be quite scary. So maybe just bishop e7, maybe just develop a piece. Let's see, bishop g4. He could also play knight c3 against bishop g4, but then I play bishop b4. So h3 seems critical. Bishop g4, h3, bishop f3 takes. Maybe queen d3 now. Yeah, but the rook is hanging, so I like bishop g4. Okay, I'm going to play it. I'm going to play bishop g4. Maybe it's risky to move the same piece again, but I don't see how bishop e7 would help me. I also don't see how knight d7 would help me, and I actually think knight h6 or knight e7 would make my position worse. So now I've prevented f3 castles and knight c3, because if knight c3 I have bishop b4, and on knight c3 bishop b4 castles, bishop c3, and he loses a piece, because if knight c3 then bishop takes queen. Of course, if knight g3, then bishop takes queen, knight takes queen. I can take on c2 first, I think, and I win a pawn at least. Okay, he plays knight c3. That has to be bad, because now I get to develop a piece to an actually useful square, much more useful than e7. And now queen d2 is also a bad move because it pins the queen again. Now I'm happy, because now I can play knight e7, knight f5, and I don't have to block my rook or my bishop. Queen d3. Okay, do I cash out and ruin his pawn structure? I think I have to. Or do I? I could play bishop back to f5. Let's see, candidates. Bishop e2 is a candidate. But I definitely don't want to give up my dark squared bishop, so I'm never taking on c3. So I don't think I want to give up my light squared bishop either. So if I go bishop f5, just declining all the trades, the queen could go to g3, and then what do I do? Because now he wants to play knight g3. Okay, bishop e2, queen e2, queen e2, king e2, knight e7 for knight f5. Should be good. I have pressure on d4. So bishop takes, queen takes, knight e7. He doesn't have bishop h3. Bishop f3 does nothing. His king is on e2, his knight is on c3. I don't want to defend the d4 pawn and take and give up my dark squared bishop. And then I just continue developing. But my light squared bishop is a bad piece anyway, so I'm going to trade it off. I'm going to try to get into a better endgame. And I'll try to do it quickly. Because his light squared bishop is bad, so the fact that I'm missing mine should not be such a big deal. He should probably play knight a4 here. And consolidate with c3. I like the f5 square for my knight. He could move the king, play knight e2, knight g3. Yeah, the knight should be good in this position. In fact, maybe I should have taken on c3 as well. Okay, now he is preparing to play knight e3, and that's good. I'd completely missed that. So he plays c3 with tempo and then plays knight e3, defending the f5 square. But I have to go for this anyway. I'm going to reroute my bishop to e7. And on knight e3, I think I take. Unless my knight is better than his. And I should play knight h4. Because I could play knight h4, knight g6. That seems very dubious. But I think taking would just lead to complete equality. Somehow I managed to give away everything I had. But okay, I think knight h4 just forces bishop f1, so that should be an improvement for me. Bishop f1 has to make his position worse. Because if he plays bishop h3, I play knight g6. If he plays bishop f3, I would take. But yeah, I don't want to take that bishop. Okay, I'm going to take the knight. I'm spending too much time. King takes probably, yeah. And now I should play c5, undermine and play knight c6. But if I play c5, his bishop becomes better. If I don't play c5, he plays b4, I think. So I think I play c5. Okay. I will just continue knight c6. If he plays b4, I could even close the position down. I think I should close the position down. Because then my knight is probably just better than his bishop. Yeah, I'm going to close it. I mean, he has the bishop pair. A closed position has to be okay for my knight. Somehow this became a normal game. I really wonder where I went wrong. Probably bishop g4 is the mistake. I don't think h5 was wrong. Okay, so if h5, if a5, I'm not afraid of that. What I want to do is be able to reroute my knight to a sensible square, meaning to f5. So I'll just move my bishop out of the way and play knight e7, knight f5. Okay. I mean, I honestly don't mind the bishop trade because I'm going to get a good knight versus bad bishop position. Okay. Okay, I'll just continue with my plan. Okay, now I don't want to take. And I don't want to allow bishop h3, which he could now be able to play. So I think I just go back to e7 with my bishop, just to prevent all of that. Because it's going to take him a long time to get his bishop to c2 and threaten to take my knight. This has become a very normal game. What I definitely don't want to do is get into an opposite color bishop endgame. Okay, so I don't touch my pawns. How do I improve my position? I improve my position by moving my king away and doubling up my rooks on the h-file. I'm controlling everything. He wants to push, I want to double, so let's double. I'm keeping my pawns as they are because when he has no hooks, he cannot open the position, so I know that the queen side is going to stay closed, except for one of the diagonals, and he should probably open up the light square diagonal. Okay, I'll just continue again with my plan. Rook g6 seems like a weird way to improve, but it's a way to improve. Rook g6, the threat bishop h4. I like rook g6. I'll play it. Seems weird, but I think it could work. He's also running extremely short on time. Okay. What is his plan after bishop h4? I will just play bishop h4 and see what he does. Okay, he wants to play rook g1. Okay, now I see it. Idiot. But I think I still want to trade, because then I activate. So bishop h4, rook g1 takes, pawn takes. And I think my pieces are more active than his. I have the h-file for my rooks, and I have a good knight against his bishop on f3, which seems very strange. I know that I'm undoubling his pawns, but I think this decision is justified. Especially because, yeah, he loses the pawn anyway. Ah, I'm stupid. If he covers with the rook, I take twice. I take and take on g3. Yeah, okay. This worked out pretty well. If he covers with the bishop, I just take. Okay. Okay, I won a game, finally. Okay, now let's have a look at this. Has this ever been played? This has Spike variation. It has a name. This has a name. Wow. Okay, let's see if how do I. Okay, on Lichess, all set. Wow, this has been played a million times on Lichess. D5, E5, H5 is the second most common. Okay. Okay, we can turn off the book. Let's also turn off the engine for now. No, okay. C5 was best. C5 straight away. That makes sense, preventing d4. e6, bishop f4. Wait, why does queen b6 win? What am I missing? Oh, I'm going to win d4. And if he plays queen c1? Okay, I'm going to have to turn on the engine for this because I don't want to waste too much time. What if he plays queen c1? Oh, and okay. Oh, stupid. I just take the pawn. Okay, yeah, so the bishop has to go back. Okay, I did not see that. Queen h4. Ah, queen g6. Okay. Yeah. But I'm pretty sure he was okay at some point. I definitely did not. Okay, okay. I managed to give him an equal position out of. Okay, so what was correct? Knight h4. Rook hg1. Okay, here's the line. g5, bishop, g3, c5. Okay. This is not for humans. Okay, so I took. c5 is correct. Yeah. Why is c4 so bad? Okay, again, let's have a look at this. And what now? And now c4 is okay. cd4 is best, but c4 is a blunder. Why is c4 a blunder? I thought that I was going to have a very pleasant position here. Okay, I don't know. It seemed that I was much better, but actually wasn't much better. And then when I thought it was equal. Okay, so again, let's return to the critical position. Wait. Yeah, here. Okay, so this is my first mistake. First real mistake. Also, bishop f5 is incorrect. I should play c5. Because yeah, here if I play this, I can simply take on c2. But wait, doesn't he have bishop d5 in the end? Let's see, queen c1. Ah, okay, I just play queen d3. Okay, yeah, this is simple enough. Okay, so bishop g4 was a dreadful move. I just didn't see that he was going to have a good position after c3 and my bishop going back. Okay, I won a game. I'm happy. Thank you for watching. See you with another training game tomorrow, and I'm going to continue the Chigorin tomorrow as well. Stay tuned for more chess. Bye bye.